we'll start in approximately 5 minutes from now. We are waiting for more people to join in, and then we'll continue with the session. Interestingly, this time around, we have picked a topic which is a touchy topic for a lot of people who want to come to Germany, and they keep on wondering why a topic of a private university cannot be considered. So in today's session, what I'm trying to cover is everything you need to understand about private universities landscape in Germany. Why it makes sense for you to have an understanding and have a look at these options as well while you prepare for your education journey in Germany. This is the theme. This is mostly what we are trying to cover today. And but in between, I will also talk a lot of things about various other opportunities at public universities too. But largely all my previous sessions, all my previous master classes contain information always related to public universities. The profiling, the eligibilities, the options, the TU9s, do's and don'ts, the application process, the visas, everything more or less has been covered in those sessions. But today largely what I want to cover is private universities, because private universities, if you talk about universities outside Germany, for everything which comes across to you, you pay tuition fees, right? This concept of public and private universities has gained popularity just because of Germany, because the concept of public universities in Germany arises of the fact that you do not pay tuition fees, and that becomes a major differentiator why people want to come to Germany and study at public universities. But if you have attended my previous sessions, you would also know that public universities, after all, are also not to an extent have started to charge tuition fees. So overall, it's not free situation even at public universities with respect to the tuition fees. So then it is important for you to understand the perspective. What is more beneficial for you in terms of coming to Germany and study? Also, the time value of money plays a major role when you want to come to Germany and pick up your favorite study choice. So this is what I'm going to cover. Briefly, let me put my presentation in front of you. And from there, I think we can take this forward while I wait still for a few other people to join our session. And like my all previous sessions, I want to keep this session as interactive as possible. So we will go ahead discussing from you itself. So let me before I officially open this and start talking on the nitty-gritties of private universities, let's understand from all of you who are present here, what kind of studies are you looking forward if you want to come to Germany? Put in public or private. Let me understand the audience which is present here today. Are you really interested in public universities or private universities? Just put the name public or private and I will get an understanding what kind of audience do we have. Maybe I will adopt my presentation a little bit to address your concerns too. Come on, guys, keep is interactive, because that's important. If I don't get the gist why you are here, I cannot adopt my presentation, and that would mean that you would be trust what I want to speak. And if that's something which is not of your interest, then you shouldn't be here, after all. So put your interest why you are here. Is it public university, is private university? It doesn't matter. The session is about private university, but it is good to know if you are only here for public university or private university. And maybe even if you are at public university, for you, it is very interesting to know the comparison. That why, after all, you can also keep private universities in your consideration as well, because after all, careers are made at private universities in Germany too. Okay, good. Thanks for pouring in your answers. Very good. Now give me a second thought. So I understand it's between a mix of public and private universities. So this presentation today will help you to understand the big comparison between public and private universities, and why, after all, you can also be considerate about probably choosing your options wisely after this presentation. This is what I could promise you. At the end of the session, this is what you would be, ready about, that what is the best choice available for you, public or private. Now give me another answer. Are you all here for master's studies, or is there anyone who are attending the session today for bachelor studies? Just write bachelor's or master's or PhD, whatever studies you are here for. Just give me that name. Is it a master's? Is it bachelor's? Give me that give me that name. Masters. Okay, cool. Masters. I think most of the audience are here for master's studies. Any bachelor students here? Anyone who was looking to study bachelor's? Any student or parent who has joined this session who is looking for bachelor's? Mohammed K, looking to transfer to German from Ukraine for MBBS. I will address this issue, Mohammed. I will address this issue. I think you've been in touch with our team also. I will address this issue today. Masters. So I see most of you are looking forward to study masters in Germany. Now, give me the field you are here to study. What in masters mostly are you looking forward to study? Is it engineering, management, environment, technology, computer science? What is it? What is that interest which brings you into this session? Sports management. Ankit says IT. Farzana, social science. Yes. Put your answers. Let me have a very clear understanding of the audience which is present with me today, because this will help me to adopt. Psychology. Okay. Mechanical. Okay. Good. Very good. More answers, guys. I think we have a lot of people today. Construction management. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. We are processing a couple of students for next intake for construction management. I'll address this during my session as well. Electronics. Cool. Now give me another answer. For which intake, for which year are you all planning to apply? So what's your intake? It's 23, it's 24. Which of the intake which you are planning to apply for? You can put summer or winter. That also is helpful. Summer is March, winter is September. Thank you. 23, I see it's 23, winter. So most of you, it's 23, yes. Okay, summer, okay. Okay, cool. So I can fairly conclude the audience today here is looking to study master's program at different level. And the target year is either summer or winter 2023, for which you are here to understand, to listen to me, and maybe then make your further opinion how to go about it. Excellent, fantastic. You have been a participative audience. I really like it. Thank you so much. Let's get directly into the session. One more point. You can keep writing your questions in the Q&A section. While my presentation continues, you can keep putting your questions in the Q&A section. But my will pick it and answer it straight away. If not, then I will anyways will be taking all those questions in the middle of the presentation and at the end of the presentation. But keep putting in your questions in the Q&A, please. Okay, let's move on. Right, why me? What is the mission of EU Gateway? Why me is what I'm trying to explain. So our mission at EU Gateway is to make an optimum use of technology and expertise to help students make informed decision on overseas career choices, representing a full array of options that are both reasonable and rewarding. So this is a mission in a nutshell, that what we want to help students with technology and the various choices in a very, very ethical manner. This is the mission we are out here for. And why me? Because I'm an international certified career coach. I have more than 15 years of experience in higher education recruitment and marketing. Earlier, I was a regional head for South Asian market for Frankfurt School of Finance and Management in Germany, a well-renowned private non-for-profit university where I have started my career. Also, I have done my MBA in business consulting from Germany, from a public university. And in 2016, I founded EU Gateway. And that's how this journey has been over the last 15 years, very closely connected to international higher education recruitment scenario, traveled to more than 30 countries, recruited people from different diversity. And now we're based in Pune. And I had a team of people sitting in my office here, and we are live from my office today, helping you guys to understand the nitty-gritties about private university setup in Germany. General scenario about private universities: there are roughly around 40 private universities in comparison to 400 odd public universities in Germany. So private university is roughly, around 8 to 10%. Now, why so less private universities and why so many public universities? The concept of private universities in earlier times in Germany did not exist, because everything in Germany was free of cost. The studies in Germany are fundamental right. Education in Germany is a fundamental right, and that means it should be provided free of cost. And the German government makes sure that at every level of your career, you have a free education, access to free education, and to all. And that's why all this public university setup, which you largely see, does not charge tuition fees because they are funded by the government. Recently, since there was a lot of interest among international people, international students to come to Germany for studies, and public universities obviously cannot accommodate all the students coming from different parts of the world, the idea of setting up private universities by the business people in Germany have propped up. And that's why over the past 2 to 3 decades, you would see these universities which have come up. That is still minuscule. But most of these universities largely operate in the management field. There are a few integrated universities as well, which will cover a lot of other areas of studies. But largely, most of these private universities talks about management studies. And of course, it's a private universities. And again, private non-for-profit is the keyword which you need to understand. These universities are not there to make money, but they have to charge tuition fees because they need to sustain, and they do not get money from the government. They do get endowment funds from the alumni, from the different people, from the industry, but it's an endowment fund. It's not something from the government. So they have to sustain, and that's why they charge tuition fees. And that's why suddenly in a lot of people's mind, it comes out that if I have to go to private university and pay tuition fees, why should I come to Germany? I should go to UK, I should go to Ireland, I should go to France or US or Canada, where anyways I have to pay tuition fees. So I don't mind paying tuition fees in these countries, but I will mind paying tuition fees in Germany. Why? Are these private universities less equipped, less qualified? Don't they provide you with the jobs? Don't they provide you with the opportunities? Yes, they do, and that's what I want to cover here today. That do not see private universities anything less as compared to public universities in Germany, and there are a lot of hidden information and public universities as well, which I would like to share with you today for your better understanding. So for now, you understand the setup of the universities. Roughly less than 10% private universities are available. Around 2.5 lakh students who are studying at private universities. More than 150 courses are available at private universities, which you can opt for, mostly management, but then there are certain universities which offer engineering programs, medicine, healthcare programs, not really medicine, but healthcare management programs, and differential studies as well. So it could be arts, it could be media, it could be fashion. All those are available at private universities. Competition, so basically of the overall student base in Germany, roughly 10% studies at private universities. So these days, it's not only international students who would study at private universities, but then there are wealthy people in Germany who also send their kids to private universities because they have seen the differentiation. They have seen how the careers are made, how the access to the industry is open by these private universities, and that's why they see a value in sending their kids. Second most important thought to keep in mind, that German people or people from the EU have access to cheap education loans from the banks in Germany. So that's why they can afford as well to come and send their to come and study at these private universities, and the parents are more than willing to support this. Third very important option is, or a very important point for you to know is, private universities work very closely with the industry. So a lot of industry people would sponsor the local German nationals to come and study at these private universities. So they have work as well as study. So that's a kind of a model which is very, very prevalent. And I will deep dive in that very shortly, that why it is advantageous that you have classes only 2 or 3 days in a week, while the rest of the days are available for you to work part-time or to work in an industry. And that's a very, very interesting model. Okay, some advantages which I wanted to talk to you about with respect to private university as a whole, and what are the key elements which you need to keep in mind while you decide on your university selections. Generally, private universities are small learning and individual support groups. So all the work, all the lectures and systems are generally happening in a small group. It's not like if it's a private university, I would have to sit with a class of 100 or 200 people. No, even if the program as a whole can accommodate 100 to 150 people, there would always be individual groups, let's say within the class, individual core groups could be created, and that's where you would have one-to-one learning possible. So the program can have a big intake, but you would be divided into smaller groups where your special studies would be conducted based on the topic you have selected. So you would still study in small groups. They're very close to the business community, as I just mentioned. Strong connections with the industry, which will help, which help you to get internships, which helps you to get projects, which helps you to work on live projects, live scenarios, which also enhance your learning manifold. Flexible study option, that's what I meant. Now, post-COVID, it's hybrid, but on campus too. But earlier also, private universities usually had classrooms created where you would have 2 or 3 days classrooms, and the 3 or 4 days are available for you to work part-time. So the interesting scenario was when I started to work for Frankfurt School of Finance and Management in 2007-8. The program which I was promoting, Masters of Finance. This program has actually 3 days 3 days a week module. So you will only have classes 3 days, while another 3 days or the 4 days are available for you to work part-time, even for international students. And we have to fight it through with the visa authorities here, because when they see that it's only 3 days classes, they want to categorize it as a part-time. And for part-time programs, you do not get visa. Simple. For only full-time studies is what the visas are allowed, or if it's executive studies or it's modular programs. So this kind of model of part-time, so weekly classes module existed for long, and most of these private universities adopt this model to accommodate the time for international students, also for their national students to work along with the studies. That's what the flexible study options means. Good learning and modern technology, yes. Since it's privately funded universities, they have access to best of the technology, best of the people, best of the industry people. That's very important to say. With the lecturers who are teaching in your class are coming from the industry. So professors, of course, there are professors with humongous experience, but then you also being taught by the professionals, with varied experience from the industry. So you're learning, from somebody who is doing it for so many years in the industry is really, really enhanced. And that's where your connect with those people is made, and that's what it encourages you further to get your internship, to get your part-time jobs, or possibility to convert it into full-time. As you say, emphasis on industry experience. This is what it means, emphasis on industry experience. So the experts are coming from the industry to take the classrooms. And that's why you will find in the flexible option, sometimes you are having classes over the weekends, because these experts would have time only over weekends. So sometimes these classes are scheduled in block module, where even Saturdays and Sundays the classes are conducted. I have had these classes in 2004 and 5, when the industry people used to come and take classes for our MBA program, and we used to sit block weeks to have these classes. So it's common practice. It's okay. It's clear. I think we do it in India also at times, but then it's very clear, and that's what these private universities help you do. Again, another important factor for you to understand, German. So all these private universities, when they are writing University of Applied Sciences, if they are University of Applied Sciences, they are accredited by the state accreditation system. This is a very important factor for you to know, for you to understand whenever you are applying to private universities. Are they state accredited? If they are not, that means they are not a university, they are an institute, or they are a college who will just teach you and provide you a degree from any third university from outside Germany. So, and if you get a degree from a third university outside Germany, please understand there would be a scenario that your post-study work visa does not get extended, because this PSW visa is for people who have studied German degrees. Studying in Germany does not mean that it's a German degree. So you need to have a degree from authentic German universities. If they are University of Applied Sciences, that means they are accredited by the German government, German state government, and they have other accreditations as well in place. That means it's legitimate, it's authentic, and you can go ahead and study at these universities. Personalized internship guidance. As I said, very closely working with the industry. This brings a lot of internships, a lot of opportunities for the student to undertake. of the largest player in private universities setup is SRH Group. SRH was actually started as a rehabilitation center in Heidelberg post World War II scenario, and they started actually as a hospital, and that's what their network and group is. Their major portion of revenues comes from their network of hospitals, and the university setup of SRH is basically non-for-profit. And since they were able to create a difference in the education side, they have set this up, but it's actually non-for-profit, and the money they make from their private university setup is just to finance their own organization and campuses. They are non-for-profit. So one example, and that's where, so SRH has a university, then SRH has a group of hospitals. So you can imagine if somebody who want to work in a healthcare, or if somebody who want to work in an education sector, SRH does not only provide you with the education, but also it can absorb you within their industry, within their system, with the internships, with the full-time jobs, you know, and things like this. Diverse student profile. So a lot of people from different part of the world comes and study at private universities. So your learning from a private group is really enhanced. So culturally, you would be more equipped to understand and interact with the people from different parts of the world. Latest technology and research, as I said, they have access to the best of the best, because they do not rely on government funds to have this. They create their own funds, they have their own money, and they can provide you with the best of the technologies available. And socially and economically balanced diaspora. So socially, economically means it's simple that people who are well off as well can get a path to study at private universities. But then there are people who are economically not great, but then they are meritorious. They also get a chance to study at these private universities because of the scholarships which the private universities provide to their students if you are brilliant. So these are some of those distinctions which I just mentioned are available for you to consider if you want to apply to private universities. Now, before I go into the list of these private universities, I just want to address a couple of more issues, a couple of more topics, which will be possibly an eye-opener, a very important thought for all of you to understand. For those who have mentioned here that they want to go to public universities for studies. Now, public universities, although we say it's a zero tuition cost, but I think roughly you would pay around 9 lakhs in block account for year one, right, in living expenses. This is for 1 year of living expenses to study at a public universities in Germany. Now, public universities master's program are roughly for 2 years. At most of these public universities, you have a 2 years master's program, right? Now, 2 years master's program, which will mean that you need to spend minimum 20,000 euros or 18,000 euros in living expenses before you are ready to hit the job market, right? This is a very clear statement for you to understand that studying at public universities takes 2 years and minimum around 20,000 euros in living expenses before you are ready for the market. Now, a lot of people talk about that you can be in Germany with just 10 lakh rupees. We also talk about this. You could be in Germany with 10 lakh rupees and with 1 year of living expenses, you can start your studies at public universities. And second year, you can find a part-time job and you can finance your living expenses. And at the same time, you can complete your degree. And then, you know, you could be job market ready. But who is paying for this second year of living expenses? It's actually you. You are going to work part-time. You're going to generate the income, and eventually you are going to pay for your various expenses. So roughly, this means that you have to generate the income in order to pay. That's point number one. Point number two, how many of you would be confident to get this part-time job? That's point number 2. Because in certain cases, German language would play a role. So that's where you have to keep in mind. That's point number 2. Point number 3, how many of you would actually have a time to do this part-time job in the year 2? The reason being, all these public universities are very intense in nature. That means a lot of work is given to the students to finish before they complete the subject or get their grades or pass out. You hardly get time in year 2 to do part-time job because of your assignments, your research work, your papers, your exams, your colloquiums, your master thesis. There is a lot to be accomplished in the year 2, which will possibly mean you will be away from a part-time job scenario. What does this mean? When you are away from the part-time scenario, you did not plan for the year 2 of living expenses, right? Because somebody like us told you that you just need 10 lakhs and that's where you are in Germany, and then the second year would be, passing by a year, and then you are good to go with your expenses, with the part-time earnings, and then you have your degree, and then you start your job. Whereas the matter of fact right now is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the dropout rate at the moment at public universities in Germany is 40%. These are the statistics from the Labor Office, and you can access it from the website, and I can share that with you. But this is the reality. The dropout rate at public university currently stands at 40%. What is the reason? This is the reason because of intense work to be finished, to be done at public universities. Student does not find time to work part-time. Right? So you have only two, either of the two things you can do, only one to balance it out. Either you work part-time and pay your expenses, because the second year money you did not plan, you only planned 10 lakh rupees, and that's why you are in Germany. Second year expenses you did not plan. So what happens? You do not get the time out of your degree. You do not get a time out of your degree to work part-time because it's intense. So one thing or the other will lose out. Mostly, since you now cannot come back and ask money from your parents or from your bank or from your friends, this means it leads to a situation that you will compromise on your studies and you will actually look desperately to get your part-time job. And once this situation happens, you are neglecting your studies. This means that you would prolong your passing out by a year, by a semester, by 2 years. So generally speaking, there are a lot of students who actually have took 3 years and 4 years to pass out a degree instead of the normal 2-year time period. This also means that they have kept themselves away from the regular full-time job market, and they just work part-time, they slog part-time just to pay their expenses. At the expense of what? In the name of studying at public university. I do not say that you cannot do it. Yes, of course you can do it. You need to be ready with this scenario. I give you this scenario so that it's in the back of your mind, that you plan your additional expenses. You plan your additional expenses for a year, so that if the situation arises that your public university studies are so intense that you will not find a time to work part-time, you have access to those funds, to those second year of living expenses. And then you can finish your studies within 2 years and hit the job market. This is what I'm trying to explain. Please plan for your year 2 of living expenses as a backup scenario. Do not rely on part-time jobs as a backup scenario if you are especially studying at a public universities in Germany. This is very important for most of you to understand, where you've been guided that you only need 10 lakh rupees and you would get public university in Germany, and in second year you can make your expenses. Yes, of course, but then how many hours of the day you're going to utilize working part time and studying, which is intense. I hope you got my point. If you got my point, just write in the chat box clear. I would be happy to know this, that you got my point, what I'm trying to make, just trying to help you understand that keep public university, even if it's a priority, but keep this in mind that you have access to your second year of finances also. Because this is very likely going to happen if you do not get a part-time job. All right, thank you. So, some of the listing for the private universities which you would like to undertake: Cologne Business School, Munich, Leipzig, Gera Business School, ESB, WHU, EU Business School, ISM, Frankfurt, Ingolstadt, WFI. Most of them are private, non-for-profit. Private, non-for-profit, and these are all B schools. If you are looking forward to study management, these are all B schools which are available for you to study in Germany. Okay. Now, private integrated, that means they offer, apart from management, they also offer engineering and science related subjects. Jacobs University, Bremen, University of Europe for Applied Sciences, Fresenius University, SRH University of Applied Sciences, it's a group of SRH universities, then PFH Göttingen, Hamburg University of Applied Sciences, Berlin University of Applied Sciences, Bayreuth University of Applied Sciences, and Dortmund University of Applied Sciences. Please understand, all these are University of Applied Sciences. That means they have valid system and state accreditation. You can study at these universities and you will get a degree, a genuine degree from these universities itself. So these are some of them which offer you different studies in engineering, in sciences, in healthcare. Now, some of those names are private MBA universities. So these are top private schools which offer you MBA programs. So if you're looking for an MBA program in Germany and you are looking for the top options, then ESMT Berlin, Frankfurt School of Finance and Management, WHU Otto Beisheim, HSL Leipzig. Then another one is Mannheim Business School, but Mannheim is a public university. That's why I did not include it, but Mannheim also has a top MBA program. So these are the top 5 MBA programs to be considered if you want to come to Germany for MBA studies. The average salaries of the people passing out an MBA from these universities starts as roughly 70,000-80,000 euros per annum, and depending on your work experience and the industry you've been working before, you can start even at higher salaries. So that's the value of the money. That's the value of the money these universities provide you. Okay. Now, a bit on the employment opportunities. I wanted to touch this. The reason why private universities have an interest and traction, because they work very closely with the industry. They have a dedicated career service department. So every student and any student who want to work part-time, looking for an internship, getting an idea how to apply for the companies, for the job, they connect with the career service department. Now, career service department in all of these private universities are not placement centers. Yeah. Please understand that there is no concept of campus placements in Germany, unlike in India. So all these centers are, all these universities have these dedicated career service centers, and the role and duties of the career service center is to make international student job ready for the German market. They help you with your CV, they help you with your interviews, they help you with the internships, they help you with the finding interviews with the companies too, helping you regularly posting various job postings which has been published is the work of service department, along with the most important task of organizing job fairs. Most of these private universities regularly organizes job fairs for their own people, so that you have direct access to all these major companies from the region to interact, to let them know why they should hire you, and also at the same time the companies comes and meet you to let you know why you should work for them. There's a huge participation which is happening these days, especially even a lot of Indian companies visits these career fairs at these top private universities in Germany to hire graduates, to offer internships, to offer full-time jobs. So this is what it really means when you work at the private universities, that you would really have an access to contacts to these industry and companies where there is a moral responsibilities of the career service department to see that you succeed. Because if you succeed, then these private universities succeed in international market. The whole idea for you, for me, for all of those international people who join these universities, leaving their own country, is to find a better career and job opportunities once they finish their studies. That is the end goal for most of you, if I'm not wrong here, that you want to have a better job opportunities, better career opportunities, right? Sectors, just few of them which has been mentioned, but I think Germany at the moment is looking to absorb 400,000 skilled professionals every year until 2030 to sustain their economy. This is once again a data from the statistical office, and it's been published worldwide. They need 400,000 skilled professionals across the field, across the stream, be it medicine, healthcare, pharma, IT, banking, finance, hospitality, mechanical, automotive, electronics, renewables, environment. In all these sectors, there's a huge demand, but only the skilled people matching the requirements would qualify, and they will get a PR. So this is what you need to keep in mind. Germany is really absorbing skilled people, and either you are already skilled or you will acquire the skills by coming and studying in a German university setup, regardless of public or private. If you are able to do this, then yes, you would become that skilled professional which German companies are looking, which German government is looking to hire. 18 months stayback option, I think most of you would be aware of about this fact once you finish your studies, regardless if it's a 1-year program or a 2-year program. We just wanted to mention with respect to these private universities, this is an average fees which has been mentioned, and I think a bit of a confusion here for some of them is as a full tuition fees, but probably 1 or 2 would be an annualized tuition fees. For example, SRH Hochschule or WHU Beisheim, this is our annual tuition fees across the program. But this is a range. This is the range of tuition fees for the program you would pay if you study at these universities. And these universities offer different programs. Yeah, why they have been mentioned here? Because they also have English taught programs now. That's why you can find them mentioned on my list. They also offer scholarships. So it's not like you have to pay full at once, but at least minimum a year of tuition fees is what you need to pay. But you also get scholarships. You also get early bird discounts. Yeah, all this is built in within the offerings of all these private universities. Do not confuse early bird discounts with scholarships. They are different. Discounts are available for everyone who meets the deadline, and they get a discount of 3,000 to 5,000 euros in tuition fees. Whereas scholarships could be ranging from 20% to 50% depending on your academics and professional experience. Now, this is the living cost. With the September 2022 intake, you need to budget 934 euros per month in living expenses. That means 11,208 euros in block account for a year. The other side which is helping is that euro is going down and rupee is strengthening. That means these days you can get an euro for 79 or 78 rupees too. That's the silver lining for all of you who are planning to study in Germany within this year or the next year. So that's a good price to have. Euro, by the way, has already touched 90, 92 in some time back. So this is already a good advantage. Although on one side there's an increase in the cost, but for us as an Indian, it's an advantage because the euro is going down. That means we will get that leverage in terms of exchange rate, and we would still spend the similar amount or lesser amount of money in rupees. But this is what you need to budget: 11,208. That means roughly 9 lakh rupees in living cost per annum. A general eligibility rule I wanted to talk for private universities. Now, there's a differentiation between top private universities offering MBA programs. They have very strict and high requirements as compared to normal universities, which possibly does not have requirements like GMAT and GRE, but they still would look at your GPA, which should be let's say 65% on Indian grading scale as a standard. But then a lot of these private universities would also look at your profile holistically. Holistically means they are not only dependent on your GPA. So even if you have a lower GPA, let's say less than 50% also, they would still have a look at your profile. They would still evaluate it. They will offer you a chance to appear for their own test. They will also offer you a chance to prove in your motivation letter why you have this low score. And then collectively, they decide on your application. That means if you have a low GPA, you still have a very strong chance to study at a private universities in Germany. And also for your information, most of the programs at private universities in Germany are for 1 year, mostly 1 year. This means that your time for the job market, even after paying 1 year of living expenses and an amount in tuition fees, you would still be eligible for a full-time job within 1 year of finishing your master's, as compared to public universities, which would take generally 2 years, and in certain cases, if you have extended it, 3 or 4 years. So anything less than 60% at certain times would be acceptable. A bachelor's degree, a 12th pass for bachelor's studies, and for master's studies, a bachelor's with 60% and above. For bachelor studies, class 12th pass with at least 65 to 70%. Plus, if you want to study bachelor's, there's an additional requirement of student colleague, the foundation course, which you need to do. And this foundation course could be done in Germany only and is currently available in 2 modes, in English language and in German language. The student colleague, this foundation program has altogether a very different scenario, which I think is not a topic in today's discussion. But for you to know, a general 12th pass from India would not qualify directly for admissions in German universities. You need to have this additional 1 year foundation program. IELTS minimum is 6 band, the more the merrier, but minimum 6 band is what you should keep in mind. But at the top private universities like ESMT and all, you would need higher GPA, you would need higher IELTS, you would need higher GMAT score. No age limit, gaps are accepted, no German language requirement for studies, and even for applications, but it's advisable that you have a German language if you want to work in German companies or even at international companies. Yeah, and GMAT, GRE are selected depending on the company. depend on the university. For example, TUM is one of the TU9 universities in Germany. Now, do not accept students without GMAT or GRE from India. Till last year, it was optional. This year, it made mandatory. GMAT with 650, GRE with 320 is the minimum requirement. So even public universities are making GMAT GRE mandatory for you to get an admission. Okay, now another very specialized tech university, startup tech university from the state of Brandenburg, Berlin, XU Exponential University of Applied Sciences. I think this is a very specialized tech university which I wanted to present to you, and I have with me a guest from XU University joining in today's session to present the interesting facts, interesting scenario of why you could be checking this option as well. If you have a special interest in IT, if you have a special interest in technology, then you should be looking forward to participate at this university as well. I'm going to welcome Laveen Melwani from XU University of Applied Sciences. Hi Laveen, can you hear
Sumit,
me?
how are you? Yeah. Sumit, I don't know, I can hear you, but it says that you haven't allowed me to turn on my camera. I don't know why, but I can definitely hear you, but I cannot turn on my camera. It says that you haven't allowed me, or the host did not allow me to turn on the camera. I don't know if you could check on it, but in the meantime, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for connecting today for the special session.
Hi Laveen.
Hey, Sumit, can you hear me? Sumit? Sumit, can you hear me? Sumit, can you hear me? Sumit? Sumit, can you hear me?
Just a minute, guys. I think Laveen might have some issue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we are able to hear you, Laveen.
Hi Laveen. Are you there? I think you are there, but I see that there is some issue.
Sumit, can you hear me? Sumit, can you hear me? Sumit? Sumit, can you hear me?
Hello, Laveen, can you hear me?
Hi, Sumit, can you hear me?
Oh yes, now I can see you, Laveen. You are there. I can't hear you still.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
It's very low, Laveen. Can you maybe
Hold on.
check your sound?
Sumit, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect. Now it's audible. Yes, super.
Oh,
so,
okay.
ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Laveen Melwani from XU Exponential University of Applied Sciences, Berlin. Laveen, an expert in international higher education recruitment and marketing for several years. Previously has worked for various universities and now in charge for XU Exponential University, looking after their recruitment and admissions across the continents. And Laveen is here today with us to talk about this Exponential University, the very specialized tech universities that we want to present today in the context of private universities, the base which I have informed you about. And Laveen will, start his short presentation on the opportunities in this tech university and why it really makes sense for you to keep this university as an option. Okay, over to you, Laveen. I will be sharing. Yes.
Yeah, good morning, Sumit. Thank you so much for this time and presentation with your wonderful students. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are connecting from India today. My name is Laveen Melwani, and I look after student recruitment and international student recruitment here at XU Exponential University of Applied Sciences in Potsdam, Berlin. So yeah, I see Avon, Ankit, good morning as well. I see the other participants as well. So good morning to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining in today. Sumit, thank you for this time again. And yeah, Sumit, I think before we start, I just want to share my screen. So you have given me the opportunity to share my screen. And can you
Yes.
see my screen?
Yes. This is coming up.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Um, so I guess before I start, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you about the digital and the technology industry here in Germany. And this is one of the reasons why XU Exponential University was founded 4 or 5 years ago, because of the current boom that we're facing in digitalization and also in the tech industry here in Germany. Now, if you'll have looked at the statistics clearly and you were looking at the boom in the German industry in the tech area, I think Sumit, you know about the boom that's currently happening in the tech industry in Germany. Just a
Absolutely.
fun, yeah, just a fun fact for all of y'all. Do you all know that Deloitte had published a report on Germany's tech industry? And they have said that Germany will overtake India and the US to be the world's largest tech industry by the end of this year, to generate a revenue of $7 trillion, creating 1 million jobs in the next 3 years. That's right, $7 trillion in sales revenue, creating 1 million jobs in the next 3 years. Now, the question is, who's going to take these jobs and who's going to fill in these jobs? And that's why XU Exponential University was founded, in order to make sure that the tech industry here and the digital industry here in Germany has the labor force to join these jobs and fulfill this labor requirement, so that there is no shortage of skill sets in this area. In the tech industry, tech skills are in deficient. So it is a shortage of labor currently we are facing. And that's another reason why XU Exponential University was founded. The current tech industry in Germany is worth about 170 billion euros. It's set to triple in the next 3 years. And the e-commerce, those of you who are interested in digital marketing, and that is something that's growing popular day by day as well. I mean, Sumit, you know it, and I know it, that worldwide, and even now, anywhere in the world, you cannot do marketing without digitalization, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
if you don't have digital skills today, you can't talk about marketing. Nobody's looking at magazines anymore. We're not looking at the Times of India newspapers anymore. We all want something digital. And if you look at the e-commerce industry, even during COVID, it grew by almost 1 billion euros in the last 2 years. Again, creating a lot of jobs in the e-commerce industry alone. And that's where my point comes in, that we have this boom currently in Germany in the tech and digital industry. And Germany is really looking out for tech professionals and digital marketeers and digital business professionals to join the tech industry. And that's why XU Exponential University was founded. So these were some few fun facts about Germany and why tech boom and why technology then fits perfectly in Germany. Now, Sumit, I don't like to do talks without actually having concrete questions and information that people or the audience really want to have in my talks. So therefore, I like to kind of get the points across from everybody and then talk about that more in specific. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking at my screen right now, please tell me in terms of what is important for you all to know. I know there's a Q&A going on, there's a chat going on. Please type out your questions in the chat. What is important for you all to know? What would you all like to know if you'll go to study abroad? What is a good to have if you'll go to study abroad? And honestly, what are your expectations when you go to study abroad? I don't know, Sumit, if you can see the screen clearly. I know you see this character on the screen. A lot of people tell me if I was a cartoon character, I'd look like this character on the screen. I don't know, Sumit or the audience, if anybody has anything to tell me about that.
Mr. Beans.
So I don't know how far you think that I do look like the character on the screen, but that's what a lot of people told me. So that's why this character is very special to me. Also a role model, because he's one of the special characters in the world who did a lot of comedy without talking, and that's very rare to do. But while the people are typing in the chat in terms of what they're looking for, what is important for them to know, Sumit, you've been counseling students to study abroad for more than 10, 12 years now, and you are an expert in German higher education. So why don't we start with you while the people are typing in the chat in terms of what they're looking to study abroad, and then we can wait for more questions from the chat or more comments from the chat.
I think the most important factor for a lot of students, so if I have to talk about the audience which is present now, or maybe from the past whom I have counseled. The most important factor for all of them to come to Germany is for better job opportunity. Better job opportunities. The emphasis is on better job opportunities, high-paying jobs, and a possible track and scenario where they have easy access to the job market without, let us say, if they don't have to slog for German language, it's nothing like this. So they would love to have it where they do not have to slog for German language in order to break into the job, because the scenario so far has been like, if you do not have the language, it will be difficult for you to get into the job. But in the recent years, this is also my understanding, because of this technology and the booming tech sector in Germany, the scenario is tilting towards more English-speaking audience as well, and the jobs are in plenty. So I think this is the most important factor, Lavin. If you ask me why people want to come to higher education abroad to Germany, the job scenario, the opportunity is the first and foremost, followed by, of course, the quality of education. So that follows. If they can get a job even from an XYZ, they're fine. The idea is the job. Quality of education is always is sometimes in parallel, sometimes even at lower side, but the job is on the top of the mind of everyone who want to come to Germany.
Perfect, perfect. So Sumit, if you think of any other questions, comments on the way, audience, you'll all have the free hand. Please ask as much information, or please ask your questions, or even please type in your expectations in terms of what your expectations are when you look to study higher education in Germany, and why you want to put that kind of money for the blocked account or for the tuition fees to go abroad. So keep typing that in. Sumit is looking at it closely, and I'll talk about these major topics first. But first, let me come to the main topic, in terms of Germany's new tech hub, which is Potsdam and Berlin right now. And I think it's an important point that you pointed out here is about the knowledge of the German language. Actually, just another fact about Berlin and Potsdam, 98% of the people speak English in Berlin and Potsdam. You can hear people speak English in the train, in the government offices, in the doctor offices, everywhere, supermarkets, everywhere. So if you have no knowledge of German, you can perfectly survive in Berlin and Potsdam, and you don't really need it to live in the city as well. But the good news is that if you look at the digital and technology industry here in Germany, you also don't need any German. The language of communication is English. Why? Because it does not only have Germans who are working there, it has a lot of foreigners, and also it has a lot of people from all around the world. And also another thing here, Sumit, that is really interesting, is that Germany is not only catering to the software solutions or the digital solutions or the tech solutions only for Germany or Europe. They cater for it worldwide. That means companies from America come nowadays to Germany for solutions. Companies from Africa come to Germany for solutions. Companies from India come to Germany for solutions. So it's because of this internationalization of the tech industry and the digital industry here in Germany, you don't need German to get a job, or even a part-time job, or even a student job, or even an internship in the industry. In fact, we also teach English at our bachelor's level to improve the English business communication skill sets for our bachelor students to join the tech industry or the digital industry after graduation, because all of our partners are not asking for any German-speaking jobs. All of them are asking for people with English speaking skills, which I'm sure all of the audience here has right now in who are connected in right now. So therefore, for my own personal story, you know that, Sumit, as well, that I used to live in Munich before, and my fiance lives here in Berlin, and she works with a tech company here in Berlin. And one of the reasons why I moved from Munich to Berlin was because she doesn't speak any German, and she doesn't even speak a word of German till now. but she wants to live in Berlin because Berlin is so international. It has more than 100 nationalities living here, and that everybody speaks English. So you can just live in the city without knowing any German, and it's perfectly fine. You will never, 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 never find someone who cannot speak English here in Berlin or Potsdam. And that's why we chose to live in Berlin, because of the fact that she doesn't speak German, and we want to live in an international city, and she wants to live in an English environment. That's why I left Munich and I came to Berlin. So that was my story. And I travel every day from Berlin to Potsdam. And that's the beauty again of studying in Berlin, that you can either live in Berlin and travel to Potsdam. That's where our campus is. Or you could live in Potsdam and go to Berlin on the weekend or for your job or for networking events as well. It's totally up to you. It takes me about 45 minutes to get to Berlin from Potsdam door to door. However, it can take you about an hour, but Berlin is a big city. I mean, in a big city, you should be used to traveling for an hour, and it's not such a big deal. And there's no traffic. You travel in a wonderful public transport that comes on time. The bus is on time. It even shows you how long it takes you to get the bus. So if it shows you 2 minutes, then the bus will be at the bus stop in 2 minutes, and you can calculate exactly the number of minutes it takes you to reach your job or your school or university from wherever you're going. So you really don't spend that much time in traffic, and that gives you also a lot of time to do your homework on the train, while if you're living in Berlin and coming to Potsdam, or even gather your thoughts together and present some ideas during that train ride as well. That's what I do, and that's what a lot of our students do. Now, the main thing what you asked about, Sumit, is the job opportunities here in Berlin and Potsdam. What is the importance of jobs? Why should I invest that kind of tuition fees? Why should I invest that kind of blocked account? We're talking about 18 lakh rupees over here. It's not small amount of money. I could buy a land. I could buy something else. Why should I invest that in my education? Now, as you have talked about this many, many times, Sumit, and you know this, that every student in Germany is eligible for a part-time job up to 20 hours per week, and you can earn up to 800 euros or 1,000 euros in that part-time job. However, our concentration here at XU Experimental University, and I advise all of my students who come to study in Germany, please stay away from part-time jobs because they are physically draining. They're not hiring you because of your mind. They're not hiring you because of your personal skills. They're not hiring you because of your high skill set. They're just hiring you for the physicality of it. They need someone physical. And if you invest a lot of physical energy in that, then do you have the mental energy to stay in class? I don't know. That's totally up to you. But you need to think about that. But what I do advise my students is to do student jobs or working student jobs or paid internships. By law, all companies here in Germany are required to hire interns and pay them for those internships. And if the more, this is another thing a lot of people don't know, the more internships or the more interns a company hires, the lesser tax they pay. That's why there's so many internships available here in Germany, and you get paid for that. The thing is that you can combine an internship with your master's study or your bachelor study. And the beauty of that internship is that it's career focused. So if you want to get into coding, into software engineering, data science, digital business, digital management, digital HR, digital marketing, you can focus your internship on that during your studies, so that when you graduate from XU Experimental University with that high skill set, you are market ready, and you can use that internship experience to get a full-time job. Now, currently here in Germany, the digital and the tech industry, for an average student for a student that graduates from a bachelor program for 3 or 4 years, the average salary expectation is between 42,000 to 50,000 euros per year. Let me repeat. That is 42,000 to 50,000 euros per year for someone who graduated with a bachelor degree in the tech industry, which means they had a coding, data science, computer engineering, digital business, or digital marketing degree. If you graduate with a master's here in Potsdam or Berlin, particularly in the tech industry here, they are ready to pay you anywhere between 50,000 to 80,000 euros per year. And those of you studying data science, and those of you who want to be data scientists, you are looking to be in this bracket of 80,000. Now, remember, nothing in life is guaranteed, and like the beard on my face right now is never guaranteed. It was black before, and now it's totally white. I think, Sumit, you know me. When you saw me first, my beard was totally black, and now you can see me in the same higher education industry, but I'm totally white. So nothing in life is guaranteed. And again, these salaries are not guaranteed. There's no job guarantee, but if you do work hard, you do study hard, you do your internship during your studies, you do put yourself out there, you connect with our networking events, you connect with the industry, then you are setting yourself on the platform to get into the job market and be absorbed with this job salary. You have a total of 18 months after your graduation to look for this job. And if you do get this job, you will get a 4 or 3 year work permit, which can be extended later, and you can get other long-term residence benefits as well. However, one of the most high-paying jobs is data scientist as well. Another high-paying job is tech sales. They pay a lot of money for tech sales. I mean, some of the people in the tech sales industry can even earn up to 120,000 euros per year. That's another high-paying job as well. Digital marketers, that's another high-paying job as well. They earn a good 60,000 euros per year. SEO, SEA optimization, Google AdWords, you also have a LinkedIn, or you also have the social media promotions. They also get paid really a lot here in Germany. Digital HR. So those of you who have an HR background, HR is a very key skill here in Germany, a deficient skill, and they are also ready to pay up to 60 to 70,000 euros for this job currently here in Germany. So the job market is booming, the tech market is booming, there is a shortage of labor. So really now is the right time for you to look at getting into the industry. We are a University of Applied Sciences. That means we do have the accreditation from the state of Brandenburg to be a German registered university. And also we have the accreditation from Ziva to show the quality of our programs as well. I don't know, I want to pause a bit just for the audience to sink in and listen to what I'm talking about and understand the job market over here in Germany. Sumit, at this point, I don't know if you have any comments or you have any questions on what I've just said so far.
So Mohit want to know, he has a Bachelor's of Engineering degree. And then would there be a problem if he switches to Master of Arts as a degree for his, let's say, IT offering which we have? Does it create any transition problem or job problem?
Excellent question, Sumit. I think, you know, we have a Master's of Arts, that's a digital transformation program. It's only a 1-year program. And this program costs about 7,800 euros for the full year of tuition fees. It's a 1-year program, and it costs only 7,800 euros for the full year of tuition fees, and it's a 2-semester program. But we come back to that a bit later. But answering your question, see, our digital transformation program is designed for everybody, and it's designed in such a way that if you had an IT, computer science, software engineering, or technical background, what I will teach you is tech management, digital organization, leadership, entrepreneurship. It will also teach you in terms of digital transformation as well. So it will give you a lot of organization and management skills that you would need in your future to be in the tech industry as well. Because a lot of people right now who have an IT and computer science background always are talking about project management. What is project management? It is a management skill. And this is something that you will learn in this program as well. Because if you are someone with a computer science or IT or engineering or software background, and you'll think that, okay, what am I going to do with project management? With any company that you work today, if you want to be a senior software engineer, you want to be a senior engineer, you have to be responsible for projects. You have to be responsible for engineering projects that you get. Yes, they are technical, but they also require management for your side. They also require leadership for your side. They also require training from your side. How will you learn these skills? That is what you learn in digital management. And that is what you get in this program. Now, like I said, this program is designed for both people that come from a technical background, as well as people that come from a business background. So if you came from a technical background, this program allows you to choose one of 3 electives, and you could choose digital security as one of those electives. I have the course module actually out here in the presentation as well. And I don't know if you can see it over here on your screen. Sumit, can you please confirm with me?
Yes, I have a screen here, Masters of Program, Masters of Arts Digital Transformation.
Yeah, so see, like I said, Sumit, this program is designed for everybody. So in your first semester, out of the other modules that we talked about, I'll go back to them, you get to choose one of the 3 electives. Now, if you are coming from engineering or computer science or even IT background, and you don't want to choose a business related elective, you can choose digital engineering or digital security. You can see they have agile software engineering, you have software engineering projects, coding projects, app projects, web programming, you have information security management, you have the importance of IT. So it allows you to combine the skill set that you want with this master's program. And if you, in your second semester, you choose another elective, and that elective can also be something related to the IT or the technical field as well. You can
so Lavin, sorry, I am interrupting you.
Yes,
I
please.
think this program is super. I think what the question was, would there be an issue transforming from BE to MA degree? I don't see that's an issue, right, at all.
No,
Correct? Yeah.
I just
So I
wanted
don't want you to.
yeah.
I don't want you to break in your sequence of presentation, because otherwise we will be lost in the entire conversation. We will be hijacked. So let's.
Yeah.
So this was the and there's another question which I want you to answer, and then you continue with the presentation, because that's the flow. Then everybody will understand.
Perfect.
Quite clearly.
No, I totally understand. I get sometimes lost in these things.
Yeah. So that's why I just interrupt. Another question, Lavin, which another student has asked, is saying that one of the cons for private universities is that we pay high tuition fees, and then language becomes a barrier for jobs in Germany, as compared to somebody who has done a program in German language or German speaking people. So is there a disadvantage which exists, is what they want to know.
See, Sumit, honestly speaking, you really need to do your research in the digital and technology industry here in Germany. Yeah. And 98% of these companies speak English and are looking for people that can only speak English. And I just gave you my own personal example of my fiance, who works with a tech company over here in Berlin, one of the largest tech companies in the world, actually, as well. I don't want to say any names, but it's one of the largest tech companies in the world. And I'm sure you'll use it every day to order things in India. She doesn't speak any German, and she's hired with this company as well. So honestly speaking, if you do want to get into the technology industry and you want to get into digital industry, language isn't a barrier. You don't really need German. Yeah, but if you want to live in Germany long term, you have long-term residence goals, you want to have long-term options, then if you do know German, that is better for you. As well as if you want to go more into like the finance side of it, or more into the other business side of it, which is not digital or not tech, then yes, a lot of companies do speak German. There are a lot of old school companies, and they would need German. But again, it depends on the kind of job you want, because there are also English speaking jobs in that area as well. So it really depends in terms of what kind of jobs you are. And also the city plays the role as well. Berlin is very, very international, so all the speakers over here are international. Like you see so many Americans over here, so many people from Australia over here, New Zealand over here, they don't speak any German. They're hired just for the English speaking skills. So many Indians over here as well. So many Africans over here as well. So it really is not a disadvantage. But if you do have a German as a knowledge during your studies and you took the time out to learn it, definitely it is advantages in the long-term goals, in the long-term career. And if you really want to get the high-paying different German jobs, or you want to work in a German-speaking environment, then yes, definitely the advantages. I hope that answered your question, Sumit.
Perfect. Yes, I think it does. It's just a comparison, because there has been an understanding from the past also. If somebody does a German taught program, he is at an advantage to somebody who does an English taught program, because eventually, and after all, the industry is looking somebody who can speak German language. So there was a bit of a parity in terms of who gets the first advantage on the job, a German speaking or German taught masters guy, or a English taught masters guy. But I think this scenario has changed, as you explained.
Yeah. So, but I think coming back to your question again, sorry to interrupt, coming back to your question again, think about it. If you've studied English all your life, and English is the common language taught in all the high schools and the private universities and public universities in India for that matter, right. And you go and study a program in German, How good would you be able to cope up with that program if it wasn't something
Hard.
more practical and something more like thesis based? You had to write in German and all. Because I studied German as well, and my German is up to a C1 level as well, and it's at a very high level. And the Germans themselves who say that they don't understand the German because it's such a high level. Like if I use C1 level to speak to a normal German friend, my German colleagues, they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "This is C1 level." Like, what do you mean C1 level? We don't understand what you're talking about. So imagine that English is not your first, German is not your first language. You have learned it and now you study and write your paper in it. How much will you be able to deliver? I don't know. Maybe you can speak it, but remember at the end of the day, you still have to write a thesis. You still have to write the exam. You still have to get that degree. Would you be able to deliver and get it at your best skill set? And if you graduate with below average grades because you wanted that German degree in German, would you get a job? I mean, even if you can speak the best German in the world, they'll ask you about your thesis, they will see your transcripts, they'll see your grades. I don't know, so that is something that you really need to think about. And that's another direction I tell people to think about. Studying a program outside your native language can really be hard, because I've seen people drop out of these programs and come to us and say, look, man, these German technical jargons, in this language, like in maybe what is digital transformation in German, we cannot understand those things. They're really difficult to understand. So, that's something that you'll really need to think about, whether you all can get up to that level to understand that high German, to then deliver in that high German to get those grades, especially write a bachelor thesis in that or master thesis in that.
Absolutely, you are bang on, Laveen, because I do get these queries and I do get these students. And I think we have among our audience also people asking and checking that I'm going to go for a German taught masters so that I can then have a better job, shot at prospects. Although I have done B1 and I'm doing B2 and I will do this and then I will enroll for a German taught masters. This is all okay, all right, but then the point is when you have to do everything in German as a study purpose, and what Laveen simply said, all your life you have studied in English, and now suddenly with some levels of German, now you want to enroll for an entire degree doing just learning in the foreign language. It is not that easy. It is not that easy, and you struggle, and that's where this another factor of dropping out from the public university arises. So my only take to all of those fellows is following: if you have the English taught masters available in your field in an arena, and although you have done good level of German, well, it's good for you. You keep it as it is, but still follow an English track master so that it becomes easy for you to pass out and then figure out a job where German language, which we have done so far, is going to help you anyways. Not really going for English German taught masters, because another myth exists that a German taught masters program have a lesser eligibility criteria as compared to an English taught masters at a public university, which to my understanding is not right either.
And Sumit, just to add on to that, the way German is spoken, you can be good at speaking German, but the way German is written is two different things. They're two different scenarios. It's not like English, where you think and you write what you think. It's not like that. When you think something, you think it in the speaking language. But when you write, there's a written language as well. It's called preteritum, and you need to write it in that sequence. So imagine that it's not as per what you think. Yeah. So you have to deliver in the written, and that's why learning German is good, because you can speak it, and that's good to get really good jobs or maybe work in a German speaking environment. But then to be delivering it in a written paper, totally different ballgame. So just to add to that. All right.
I knew my peers used to say that, Sumit, you speak American German. Every time you try to convert what you think and you just try to convert in your own language in English, that's not how it works. And writing, I was pathetic in writing in German, and I'd lived and worked in Germany for many years, and I still could not cope up with writing. So you can imagine it's not that easy.
Yeah, and imagine delivering a thesis paper on that.
Oh my God, that's tough. And you will not get a pass. The professor will not pass you. It's very simple. Professors are not easy either.
So learning and speaking definitely has an advantage, ladies and gentlemen, but you need to think about whether you can get to that written level, because a lot of Germans themselves don't have that written level as well, just to add on. But now coming back, in terms of XU Experiential University has more than 500 tech partners here in Germany, and I'm showing them to you on your screen. Sumit, can you see the screen clearly? Yes. And all of these are companies that require people to only speak in English. All of them are English-speaking jobs as well. and that's the language of the digital and tech industry here in Germany, because of the fact that a lot of them are foreigners. Everybody is foreign, like I said. Their clients are international. They want to go international. They want to have more presence in India, in the US, in Africa, and all around the world. So English is very critical to getting these jobs. Now, at XU Exponential University, during your studies, and this is what I highlighted as well.
Laveen, sorry.
Yeah.
Since we are on this career partner, it would be very interesting to show them that link of our career portal, where we have these all English speaking internships and jobs being listed right away, so that they get an understanding. We have not just put the names of the companies for your understanding. It's actually there. It's listed, and people want with are looking for hiring people only with English speaking skills. It's not really only or depending on German. So it would be nice to just show them.
Yes, Sumit, thanks for that. I think that's a very important thing that you said. See, I was just actually going to get to that in the next slide. So thank you for bringing that up. Sumit always one step ahead of me.
I'm more desperate on this side, I guess.
Yes. See, thank you for that, Sumit. See, currently this is our dashboard of basically the English-speaking jobs available. See, you can. This is a dashboard only available for XU Exponential University students, and all of our students get access to these job dashboards. Now, like I was talking to you about doing an internship during your studies, and you get paid for that internship. Instead of concentrating on a part-time job, please try and get these internships or student jobs as well during your studies. It will help you during your studies, because whatever you learn in the classroom, you get to practice it in a real environment, number one. Number two, it will also help you write your thesis and also help you get better jobs in the future as well. And because our teaching style is very practical based and application based and real life learning, whatever you do learn in the class, you can look at then using it in the job market currently that is going on right now here in Germany. So it's very important for you all to look at terms in terms of trying to have an internship during your studies, so that what you do learn in projects and application and your papers as well, that you do get to practice that in the job environment. Now, if you look at currently the job, the dashboard that we have for our students, there are about 1,351 internships available all around Europe and also here in Germany for our students as well. And this is exclusively for our students itself, and students can apply for it every day. Now, this the dashboard updates itself every day. So students apply, they get the internships, and then new jobs appear every day. So it keeps updating every day. One day they're 1,500, then they're 300, then they're 400, then there's 100, so this keeps updating every day. And I mean, even if you just look at Germany alone, in terms of the jobs here in Germany, this is all of Europe, but if you look at Germany alone and you start using those criteria, you have about 363 English-speaking jobs only as internships, and all of them pay. And you can see some of the big companies over here that are listed over here. You have startups, you have big companies, you have small companies as well, business development manager, you have finance internships, you have marketing internships. They need people in engineering as well, software engineering, marketing manager, application engineer as well. So if you're studying tech management, you come from an engineer background, you can do an engineering in that. There's robotics as well. Somebody who did robotics as a first degree and wants to do digital transformation as a second degree possible. I told you about HR as well. If you do study, if you have studied a bachelor's in human resource management, or you did a bachelor of commerce with a bit of HR modules in it, and you want to specialize in HR as well, we have digital HR, which you can also use as your specialization or your thesis in your master's. So you can also write on that, and just look at all these kind of internships available. E-commerce, we talked about digital marketing and the growth of e-commerce industry. You can see all these jobs available as well. So all of these are jobs currently available for our students here in Germany to apply for. Let me tell you, Sumit, and you know it over here, you can see I have chosen English as the language of the job, and these are only the English speaking jobs available currently.
Perfect.
So that's what I was trying to get at, and this is a careers dashboard that you have. And the idea is that you get trained from a career service center on your CV, on your cover letter, what to answer in interviews, give you the communication skills. We also have career days where a lot of the partners you see on the screen come on campus to recruit our students for internships and also jobs. But again, nothing is guaranteed, like you said. They come on campus, but not everybody who gets interviewed will get hired on the spot immediately. You have to work hard, you have to train hard, and you have to continuously keep applying, continuously keep going for internships, interviews, because remember, at the end of the day, even your first job, or even Sumit, I don't know the first time you applied for your first job ever. Did you get it in your first interview?
I failed 50 applications before I really break into the job scenario in Munich at Paulaner. Before that, it was 50 failed applications. So I kept on trying.
There you go. There you go. So if you don't continue trying, you're not motivated to apply every day, and you don't give an hour or 2 hours of your day during your studies, after in the evening or on the weekends to apply to the jobs. Look, at the end of the day, even if you graduate from the best university in the world, even the IITs today, even the MITs today, nobody's coming and tell them, oh, you have a degree from there, let me give you a job. No, they have to go and apply for a job. And at the end, that degree doesn't qualify alone for you to get a job nowadays. They want to see, do you have the communication skills? Do you have the transferable skills? Do you have the hard skills? Do you have the soft skills? And when I say hard skills, maybe in terms of engineering, IT, coding, software engineering, digital marketing, digital business, soft skills, the way you talk, the way you communicate, the way you present, the way you network. And one of the advantages that you get when you study at Experiential University, and I know a lot of people say, yes, you have professors that have industry working experience, they share real life knowledge with you, but with us it's quite different. You get the chance to showcase your ideas to industry professionals. What does that mean? That our students who do their final projects, they don't only present these final projects to the professors to get grades, but they present it to CEOs and business people and tech people here in Germany, in Potsdam, Berlin. And then they get feedback from them, they get grades from them, and then they understand whether the projects are relevant to the industry. Would somebody hire them? What are the skills they need to develop? And do they have those skills as well? And that's where our venture capital business club comes in. These guys are all serial investors. They're not serial killers, investors. They invest in companies all around the world, and you get to pitch your business ideas to them, as well as whatever projects, whether it's a software project, app project, digital marketing project, digital business project, digital app project, whatever project you're doing, you showcase all those projects to industry experts and get valuable feedback whether your project is relevant or not. And that is where then we have theory meets practical, and technical meets business skills, and business meets technical skills, because both our programs, business or technical, they have a bit of both. So you graduate with both skills as well. Now, coming back to the main questions that we had over here, I think I spoke a lot about careers and job opportunities. Sumit, I don't know if you want me to talk more about that.
No, I think this is cool. Let's continue with this part of our presentation.
We talked about high paying jobs. I talked about the easy access to the job market, no German requirement, and quality of education. Again, ladies and gentlemen, see, it's not just about getting that paper. At XU, Experiential University, you get to study in our startup campus over here in Potsdam. It's a beautiful campus. It's designed after a startup company. We have about 150 to 200 students. What we try and do is keep 5, 7, 10 students per class, so that you get that individual attention. You get to ask questions. And actually, Sumit, this is one place where I want to get your view on. One of the complaints that I always get, that a lot of students who particularly study in some other countries around the world, when they sit in a big classroom, they don't really get the chance to ask a question. Is that also true? Do you know students like that who tell you that I don't get to ask the question? If I ask a question, people will think I'm dumb, so I just have to listen to what the professor says, and at the end come and pass an exam. Do you have that kind of students as well, or that kind of complaints over there?
I think it's individual orientation. So I always advise my students, when they are going for the studies abroad, they got to be really proactive to get noticed. So that's one part. So if you are active in the class, you are noticed. If you are not active in the class, and probably you would have been oriented in India itself, that doesn't matter, you have to be in the classroom of 100 people, you listen, you prepare, and then write the exam and pass out. That's a different theory. If you have a big classroom outside, remember, the professor is coming, and if it's a big classroom, he would not remember you by your name. And if you have a small group, small classroom, individualized attention is given by the professor to each and every student. I had it in my class of 20 students. I was very, I had a very personalized attention from every professor I had. The point is, in a small group, in a small classroom, you have this personalized attention available, and professors are also responsible some way for your growth, for your success in the subject. In big classrooms, it's not possible. Although I have not received a complaint, but then as I said, if you are attending a class at TU Munich with 150 students, freshers from MIM class, which now they have a capacity to take, and even if they divide this class further to 40 or 50 students, the professor would not have the time and understanding of those 50 students, unless out of those 50 students, the top 10 and 20 start raising hands every time and asking questions. The more you ask questions, the more you get notified and the more you stand out among the group. And if you can't do that, then of course it's not a problem of the university, it's not the problem of the professor, it's the problem of the student.
Thanks, Sumit, for that valuable add-in. But in a class of 5 or 7, you don't have a chance. You have to give your opinion. You have to get noticed.
You can't escape. You professor
exactly.
is right there.
Exactly. And that's where then the teaching becomes individual, the teaching becomes personalized, and that's what you are paying that tuition fees for. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, each one of you is unique. Each one of your needs are different. Each one of you have different dreams and ambition. And what success means to one person, what career means to one person doesn't mean the same for the other person as well. For Europeans, what success means for people from other parts of the world, Africa, Asia, India, Kenya, South America, USA, Australia, what career and success or happiness means is totally different from every person around the world. So each person is unique from wherever you come in the world and to yourself itself. Even from India alone, people who come from the same city or even the same town, the two people can be totally different and everybody's unique. And that's where that uniqueness comes into play, where you get that specialized individual attention and you get to showcase that uniqueness and develop what you really want to develop and the kind of skill set you want to get into the job market. Another added advantage of studying with us is that we are an Apple authorized center. What does that mean? That you can also get Apple programming skills as a certificate to add onto your CV. Apple operating system, you get syntax and Swift programming skills from Apple as well, so that you can add into your CV. We are safe school as well, school of agility. Nowadays, all tech companies, the big ones like PepsiCo, Coke, Bosch, Volkswagen, if they want to plan technology development or digital development, they need agility skill sets. And
Laveen,
yes.
Sorry, I'm interrupting again. Laveen, let's go back to the presentation slide and you present the programs which XU has so that they get an understanding at the bachelor's and master's. Maybe we'll just take them through to some of those important aspects for them to look at it and get a better understanding, how they can approach this.
Yeah, no, I was talking about a certification that you can add on during your studies as well.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at the programs itself, we have 4 bachelor programs. That is in coding and software engineering.
Yeah, you have to stop this screen first and then reshare it with the.
I thought you were seeing my screen. Sorry.
No, you are not.
I thought you were seeing my presentation because I had a presentation on the certification. And yeah. I thought you were looking at that. I thought okay, so you're not looking at, you were looking at the dashboard. You're not looking at this screen. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, now that's what I wanted you to put on the screen. Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. Thank you, Sumit, for pointing that out.
Now this is clear. Now people can understand.
So these are 4 bachelor programs. If you've studied grade 12 and you want to join a bachelor's, then this is the program that we have: digital business, coding and software engineering, data science, digital marketing, and social media as well. Now, remember, this is a 3-year program, 6 semesters. But if you have studied grade 12 India State Board, then you have to do our prep for university program. That's a 1-year program, 2-semester program. However, with us, you do have that option. If you do very well in your first semester, you have the chance to sit that exam after the first semester. And if you pass it, then you don't necessarily need to do the full year and you don't necessarily need to do the full 2 semesters, and you can directly enter into our digital business, coding and software engineering, data science, digital marketing, or our bachelor programs, basically. So these are the 4 bachelor programs that we have. Sumit, any questions on the bachelor programs before I go into masters?
No, I think this is interesting, and for people to understand, the foundation could be done in shorter period of time, as Laveen said. Instead of 2 semesters, 1 year, you actually can shorten it to 6 semesters with you. You are and could be able to sit in the exam and directly jump into the bachelor's degree. Foundation something is unfortunately cannot be ruled out regardless of your class 12 studies. In certain exceptional cases, and from the IB board and IGCSE, if you meet those subject qualifications, subject combination qualification and the grades, then you have a possibility to rule out the foundation. And general scenario, which we have in India, which is largely CBSE, ICSE, and state boards, you have to have this foundation program. But this is interesting. This is all digital age, digital skills, job-oriented bachelor studies, where you would be rightly working with the industry on these programs. So yes.
Yeah, so this goes with the story tech boom. You know, if you want to get into tech boom, we need coders and software engineers here. These are the top deficient skills right now. We need people that have data science skill sets. I mean, companies pay up to 80,000 euros for people with data science skill sets. We need people in digital marketing and social media. SEO optimization is going through the roof. Digital marketing is going through the roof. E-commerce is going through the roof. So this is a program for that. Digital business, if you want to get into HR, leadership, management, sales, business development, whatever you can think of in the tech management field, even finance, digital business is the program for you, and you can study that program. So these are the 4 bachelors that we have. You can choose to study any one of them based on your grade 12 results. And also, like I said, if you do the prep for university program and you get very good grades in the first semester, you have the chance to sit the final exam after the first semester and don't need to do that for the full year. Now, those of you that have working experience, you already have a bachelor degree for 4 years or 3 years, you have at least 1 to 2 years of working experience. Over there in India, you're looking to upgrade your skill sets, you're looking to get to the next level. There was this question, if I come from an IT or tech background, can I cope up with this program? See, one of the beauty about this program is, and I get this complaint from a lot of people who go into a pure business program for the master's level, is that they struggle a lot with finance and accounting in those programs. You know, and they don't understand those programs, and they tend to get very bad grades over there. But with our tech program, it looks to accommodate both kind of students who have studied in both fields, in tech, computer science, IT, or even software engineering, as well as business bachelors, even any industry that's related to digital transformation. Because it's not so heavily focused, it doesn't have any focus on finance and accounting, you really get the skill sets that will make you market ready. And that's why I'm showing you the job modules. Those of you that want to sit on a one-on-one consultation after this, please contact Mr. Sumit Roy at EUGateway. He can arrange a one-on-one consultation for you all with the university. I think one of the important things is that each one of you all is individual, so that you can understand how this program can meet your skill sets, your career dreams, and even your entrepreneurship dreams as well. Something that I also want to tell you, that this program also promotes entrepreneurship. So whatever background you come from, you can study our digital transformation program, whether it is tech, coding, software engineering, or business or architecture, whatever that is, anything that needs digital skills. And in my opinion, everything needs digital skills. This program is for you all. It's a 1-year program, 2 semesters. And you also get to promote entrepreneurship during this program as well. And just to let you all know that a lot of our bachelor students and master students who have graduated this year have already formed 2 or 3 companies during their graduation. You know, and before they graduated, they're already the CEOs of 2 or 3 companies. And this is not just for LinkedIn. They are running companies and they're getting income from that. You know, so entrepreneurship is something that you really develop at XU, whether you're coding, software engineering, or data science student, or digital business, or digital marketing student, or digital transformation, you will develop entrepreneurship as well. And Sumit, you know this better than me, why Germany is known for startups, right? I think you know the reason why, especially Potsdam and Berlin has so many startups. Sumit? Okay, I think I'll come back to Sumit on that front. If we go into the master programs, our master program, the digital transformation one, cost about 7,800 euros per year. It's a 1-year program. Again, like I said, 7,800 euros, which is roughly about 6-7 lakh rupees per year. It's a 1-year program. You need to, it's a 2-semester program. However, if you are applying for the program from India, you need to pay your full tuition fees upfront in order to get the visa. So it's 7,800 euros per year. We're looking next year to launch a data science program in maybe October next year. Sumit will keep you updated about that. And the master's in data science is going to cost about 10,000 euros per year. It's a 2-year program, 19,800 euros in total. Coming back to digital transformation, it's a 1-year program, 60 ECTS program. That's what you should be aware of. It's a MA, Master of Arts, and it's a 1-year program for 7,800. For a bachelor program, depending on your specialization, that can be almost about 4740 per semester, 9,500 euros per year, 3-year program, roughly about 24 to 28,000 euros in total in 3 years. Again, you can pay per semester for the bachelor programs. However, for the master programs, if you want to apply for this program, you need to pay it in full. Just to let you all know, ladies and gentlemen, also those of you are looking at accommodation, in Potsdam, one of the cool things is that you get the best of both worlds. You can get to live in a small city and then explore the big city of Berlin, or get to live in Berlin, the big city, and then travel to Potsdam. It's very nearby. It's only about half an hour distance from train to train from the main station in Berlin to Potsdam, and you can get there very conveniently. However, Potsdam also offers a lot of economical solutions for housing, and you can stay either in a student residence for 500 to 700 euros per year, or you could even look to get a room in an apartment for maybe even 300 or 400 euros per month if you're lucky. But Potsdam offers cheaper solutions because it is on the outskirts of Berlin and it has cheaper rent than the city of Berlin. The city center in Berlin is just like Mumbai right now. The prices are going through the roof. Now,
Laveen,
yes.
just let's go back to that master's tuition fees. I just
Yep.
draw a very interesting comparison for the students to understand. So guys, please see this, for example, digital transformation master's program. The total fees is 7,800 euros. Plus you add on your living expenses of 11,200. So I think we are 19,000 euros. In 19,000 euros, a 1-year program in IT, in digital transformation, and within a year you graduate and you are ready for the job market, and you are in that city and that place where Laveen has already mentioned jobs are plenty, English-speaking jobs, and what are the opportunities which exist right now in a tech industry in Germany. So now when you draw this as a classic comparison to a 2-year master's program from a public university in Germany, maybe in computer science or in IT or something related, then the first and foremost thing which you are keeping in mind that you are still spending 20,000, so basically 22,000 euros in living cost. Whereas here, including the tuition fees, you are spending only 19,000. That's one of your biggest draw in comparison which comes forward. Number one. Number two, you would take 2 years and plus to hit the job market, and that too from a university which probably does not even have a career support service, because you got an admit in some public university somewhere in nook and corner of Germany where you are just had an opportunity to study, and for the job and for everything else you have to come out to a big city to figure this out. Whereas so 2+ years, 20+ thousand euros in cost, with no surety of how you want to attract your job market and talent, in comparison to something at a private university. And that too, for example, if tech and IT is your forte, then at XU University of Applied Sciences, you just have your all hands full with less cost, easier job market, and quick access to full-time job opportunities. So all this is quite possible. So you can actually see the comparison, because in the end it's time value of money, and in the end it's the career for which you are coming to Germany and using study as your option. So keep this in mind. Yes,
correct. So, Sumit, thank you for that comparison, because then in that 1 year you become eligible to hit the job market that can pay you anywhere between 42,000 euros to 80,000 euros per year, as compared to, like you said, 2 years, which then you wait for that 2 years. And then if you even do a part-time job in that second year, which means you are depriving yourself of that 30 or 40,000 euros extra, which you could earn, because you're in the end putting even a harder effort physically in that kind of sense. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you that the transformation program is not only for IT and tech people or computer science backgrounds or coding or engineering backgrounds. Even people from business backgrounds with a Bachelor of Commerce or BBA can do this program as well, because it is set to get you into the tech and digitalization industry. So you can come from any background, and any background that needs digital skills today. This program will digitalize you that with entrepreneurship, organization, transformation, management, and leadership skills in order to be successful for that environment. Like Sumit has rightly pointed out, if you look at our tuition fees, it's very competitive for University of Applied Sciences. And if you look at your block account requirements that you need to pay in 1 year, pretty much you're sorted. If you are doing a student internship during that time, it makes sense because you don't even need to run after that part-time job for that money, because you put that blocked account of 11,400 to get your visa. You paid your 7,800 euros to get your visa as well, which means you're done, right? And then you could use that time instead of running after a part-time job to get an internship, which is more career focused with one of our career partners over here, or even through our career dashboard over here. And that will put you on a better opportunity to get a job afterwards. I mean, imagine putting a company where you actually had work in digital marketing or computer engineering or software engineering or coding, or be it an intern in probably a software engineer or business development, as compared to putting KFC or McDonald's on your CV. I don't know, Sumit, what do you think about that idea?
I think anytime better to have a big company's name on the CV. Of course, this KFC and McDonald's are also big companies, but then are you satisfied to work at KFC and McDonald's with the kind of skills you have possessed from India and the work which you have actually come to do? How roomy for you it is that you work at the McDonald's and picking up the plates, as compared to working for an IT firm and utilizing your skill and knowledge to what you have actually come for. So the comparison is widely written on the wall, how you want to take it up.
Yeah, and that's where the internships
Small
come
jobs
very
are
handy.
small jobs are yeah, medium, but then you have to make that choice.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are a startup campus. It is not a big university with 10,000 students. That's not our style. We want to stay small. We want to stay compact. We currently have this beautiful campus in Potsdam with 7 classrooms. We're looking to move to a bigger one in the next 2 years near the Berlin airport. It is under construction. Hopefully it will get built up soon. But for now, we are in Potsdam. It's a smaller city. And for those of you that are Hollywood fans, we are actually located in one of the biggest film production studios in Germany. And Sumit, just a fun fact, if you have watched the movie John Wick on Netflix, they're actually producing John Wick 4 right now in the studio where our campus is located. And Keanu Reeves was 3 days ago. Also, just to tell you about the internationalization of Berlin, actually, Sumit, you know that Berlin has more than 10 English-speaking cinemas that show all the latest Hollywood films. But also in terms of Bollywood, do you know that they screened Lal Singh Chanda here in Germany before they did in India? Because in India, I know they showed the movie on Friday, but we saw it here on a Thursday before you guys saw it in India, in Berlin. Lal Singh Chadda in Berlin. So they also show Bollywood movies as well. Huh? So that's the internationalization of Berlin right now, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what you're looking to get into. Now, I think I've covered all of these questions. I don't think there's anything else remaining. I don't know, Sumit, if you have any other questions to add into us right now, and if you want to add anything else currently right now, because I think we've spoken a lot. I've spoken a lot. I hope you're not tired of listening to my voice. I hope I didn't take too much time and I didn't speak too fastly. I hope the information was understandable and you all found the session enjoyable, and you all got more knowledge in terms of what XU Exponential University is all about, what we're trying to achieve over here. We're trying to not give you textbook information. We're not trying to give you textbook knowledge. We're trying to really make it as practical as possible. You have application projects, theory-based questions. You also have research-based questions as well. Some of your exams can be oral, presentation, research-based, and basically theory meets practice, and you use that practice to get your job and internship as well. And that's the whole idea, to set yourself on the next level in your life, to have the practical skill sets as well. So yeah, that's about it. I think, Sumit, I don't know if you have anything else to add over here, but that's it from my side.
Yeah, thanks, Laveen. I think just 2 more points to add, maybe from your side too. The intakes, how many intakes we are following for XU University, and if you are building on some scholarship for international students, because that would be interesting for all of us to know if they can get some merit scholarship or something which has been planned by the university, and the intakes.
All right, cool. So the intakes that we have is basically summer, April, and October. I mean, we are still in August. I don't know those of you that want to start right now, that really want to come to Germany and experience a beautiful winter over here. We do have an amazing winter over here. And if you haven't felt snow in your life, then Germany is beautiful for the
maybe I
winter.
can enroll. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
you can
mind.
enroll now and you can start online for the month of October and November, and then come once you get your visa at the end of November. That's option one. Or the next intake is April next year. For those of you who want to come in April 2023, there's an intake there. And then, yeah, we have 2 intakes in a year. Now, when it comes to scholarships, we are a private institution. Our prices are very competitive. I saw some of the prices that you showed earlier, Sumit, with some of the other private universities in Germany. And if you compare our prices to that, they are very, very reasonable and very, very competitive in that sense. So we don't give too many scholarships. Very selected students per year can get a scholarship, and it's just a small discount for one in maybe, I don't know, a lot of students. You can apply for this scholarship and tell us why you want it, but you can get a small scholarship between 10 to 15% at best, because we are a small private institution. But once again, I'll come back to our prices. I know, Sumit, you showed a lot of prices early on in your presentation as well. And if you look at our prices versus the prices that you showed, XU Experiential University for an applied sciences university is very reasonable. Remember, it's a German degree. It's not a foreign degree here in Germany. So those are the 2 points I want to add. And yeah, lastly, just for all of you all to know that anybody can look at studying this program. And if you're from a tech, IT, or even business program, you can study this program as well. And again, the idea is to get absorbed into the tech industry. It's booming at a rapid pace. They need people. We have a big shortage. In fact, even, I don't know if you read this article, Sumit, about Reuters. Reuters wrote this article that Germany would need at least 400 students every year from abroad to fill in the tech industry right now because of the shortage of skill sets in the tech industry. They just wrote this article 2 days ago about the shortage of labor here in Germany.
It's a huge demand, guys, ladies and gentlemen. There's a huge demand right now for skilled professionals, and this specialized tech university. I've always call this a specialized startup tech university from the city of Berlin, the hub where all the startup and IT industry is currently located. To become a $7 trillion IT industry in a few years from now. I think that's where, if you are an IT guy and if you're looking to get into IT, or if you have worked in an IT for some years and now want to move to Germany and do this and transition to job scenarios in Germany, this is the program, this is the university you should look at. Bang on, don't look further, don't look here and there, adding up your public universities, persona and free education, whereas in totality, I have already informed it's not free. You are spending a lot of money even at public universities, at least in living costs, if nothing else. And whereas in comparison, this is a great bargain at Exponential University. And the time value of money is something which you have to see, because the whole idea is to find a suitable job, a great career opportunity, and eventually to settle for all of you, or probably 90% of you who are coming to Germany for higher studies.
And just to add to that, ladies and gentlemen, nothing is guaranteed in life, but I think Sumit will tell you, Sumit, you know it better than others, that nothing can replace, and hard work is always, nothing can replace that. And without that, nothing you can get. Even if you look at yourself, Sumit, when we met 10 years ago, where you were and where you are today, I really appreciate you. And you are one of the people I really look up to, because you had a vision when I met you 12 years ago. And this is really true. Sumit really had this vision for higher education here in Germany and in Europe in particular. And at that time, a lot of people didn't really believe in Sumit, but Sumit believed in this vision, and he has worked really hard and now is an expert in higher education. And Sumit, like you have done in your life, I think you would agree that nothing can replace hard work. And this is also a program for people who want to get into digital business, digital marketing, or even management, HR, and also sales as well. These are big programs as well. Sales has more than 10,000 jobs posted every day. Tech sales, that's a big industry to get into. So just think about that. You learn the German language during your studies, you learn the digital transformation, and then you just need the speaking skills to get into tech skills. So that also is a big industry, big demand right now. They're paying almost up to even 80,000 euros for tech skills only. But coming back to the point, like you said, Sumit, and I just want to use your personal example of hard work, dedication, and commitment, and the value and the vision you have for your students and higher education here in Germany. It's really commendable, and you know it better than anybody else in the world. You have lost a lot of hair doing this in the higher education industry, but nothing replaces hard work, huh, Sumit?
No, it's so true, Laveen. I think the students here and whoever I talk to, I always ask them to take a start. Unless you make a start, unless you decide on something, you can always be contemplating and all these larger thinking and what's going to happen and the war in Europe and the higher inflation in Europe. You keep on thinking, and then when you keep think so much, then there's a situation of analysis paralysis which comes in picture. So too much analysis leads to paralysis, and that means you won't be able to decide on anything, and you will just continue to think for years and years. So if you have decided, if you want to move ahead, it's the time you think around it, you calculate your bets and the available information with you, and then you move on. You take the first step, and then everything starts to follow, because then you follow your vision, you follow your path, and that's how it turns out to be.
And actually, Sumit, like you said, it's also the time value of money in procrastination. You lose that time in thinking about it rather than getting the knowledge and then getting into the industry to earn it. Yes, inflation is high. We do have the war in Europe. I mean, but there is a recession coming worldwide. Use this time wisely, use your money wisely to get that money back and get yourself invested in an education, in developing your skill sets to then earn that higher income in your life. Because yes, whenever there are problems in life, there are problems in life and nothing is perfect, but then it presents a lot of opportunities. And like Sumit said, please contact EUGateway if you do want to get more information about XU Exponential University, admission process in terms of living and studying here in Potsdam, or even living in Berlin as well, exploring Berlin, exploring Potsdam, having all the wonderful activities that we have over here for your social life as well. You know, we care a lot about social life as well. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I moved to Germany, Sumit, is because I'm not a big fan of working 10, 12 hours a day. I only like working my 8, 9 hours, then I switch off my work, and then I like to spend time with my fiance by the lake or in a park, or going for a movie, or going for a trip on the weekend to Amsterdam or Italy or something like that. And I like that work-life balance. And I think that's one of the wonderful things about here in Germany is that we don't live to work, we work to live. And that's our motto.
Absolutely. Here is a little different. We are trying to still figure out that work-life balance. That's why we organize these on Saturdays, and you can imagine why the heck on Saturdays, but then that's where all other fellows could join in. That Saturday is the time for them. So yeah, but that's how.
Just to add to that, just to add to that, my wife is looking at me really badly right now. My fiance, rather, she's saying, "Why are you working on a Saturday?"
I have to let you go. I have to let you go. Thank you so much.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. No, I'm just joking. But thank you, Sumit, for organizing the session. Like I said, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to get more information about XU Exponential University, please contact Mr. Sumit Rai. He is an expert in higher education in Germany. He is an expert in guiding you. And I've known him for a very long time, 11, 12 years. And what I can tell you about him is not just about one university over another, public university over private. He looks at your needs individually, and I've seen it truly to his way he counsels and way he talks. He looks at your needs individually, and then he tells you where he fits and where you fit. So he can tell you whether you are a good fit for XU or not, and XU is a good fit for you as well. Because basically, not every university is meant for everybody. And like I said, everybody's unique. Everybody has their own needs, and you need to see what's a fit for you. And that's where our expert, Mr. Sumit Rai, who's been so long in this industry, comes into play.
Thank you so much, Laveen, for your kind words. Yes, appreciate it. And you are bang on. That's how we'll take it. Guys, thank you so much for staying with us, with Laveen, for this Saturday morning. It's been lovely. I hope it was enriching for you guys to get to know another super option in the state of Brandenburg in Berlin, and to figure out that this could be your next shot. This could be your next opportunity to jump in and then take it forward. So thank you so much, Laveen. Thank you so much. Have a great Saturday.
Sumit, just one second. There was some questions that didn't go by. They were in the chat. Sorry, I just had this popped up right now in my chat. You can balance your living expenses by doing a part-time job and also an internship. So there are people who also earn like 600, 800 euros in an internship. And you can balance that by doing and paying your living expenses with that. There's some people who want the high income between 800 to 1,000. So they go for the part-time jobs with the delivery jobs like Zomato you have there. In India, we have also delivery jobs over here that can pay you higher than an internship. and you can use that to also balance your living expenses off. So to add to that, Mihir, you can. And to Niti, can you explain the prospects for PR? I think PR comes in a different field, but right now what we have is digital communication and digital PR as well. So if you're interested in that field, then talk to Mr. Sumit, and then you'll know about that. But thank you, Sumit, once again. And before I go, I want to just individually thank all the participants who are here in the chat today and who have taken part today: AG, Arjun, Dheeraj, Naresh Kumar, Niti, Parveen. Thank you all.
Before I let you go, I just read one question, and I think it's very interesting that you address this. Nikhil Kumar wants to know the future of aviation industry in Germany and how it's operating, and what are the possibilities for him in aviation sector in Germany.
Yeah, see, aviation sector after the COVID has been booming. In fact, right now, aviation sector is hiring the most right now. And they are looking for people to get into the aviation sector. However, it's a highly competitive industry, because if you compare it with the people with the skill sets and the number of jobs available, there's always a mismatch, because the number of jobs available are like, maybe they need 4 pilots, and the number of people that want to apply for those jobs are maybe like 100, because there are 100 people with pilot licenses out there, and they want to get those 4 or 5 jobs. So it is highly competitive. You need to be at the top of your skill sets. But I think in the aviation industry as well, what is now coming about is software and software engineering as well, and how to use artificial intelligence and data for the aviation as well. And the aviation now, apart from being a pilot or cabin crew as well, if you look at aviation management, they have a lot to do with digitalization and with artificial intelligence and software as well. And that could be a good connection as well, using the tech transformation program to use that kind of software development and understanding AI and machine learning, how to relate to the aviation industry as well. Because it's project-based, that could be also a solution. But yeah, the aviation industry, the demands are now coming more into artificial intelligence and machine learning, just for you to know, and software, because they want the software to make the lives of the pilots, the machines, the people who book these tickets, the people who get onto the planes, apps, stuff like that, much more easier. Sumit, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, super. Thank you, Laveen. Thank you for this last overview on the aviation. But I think we have it now. I have to let you go. It's been Saturday, and I know how German fiancés can go crazy. And sorry, not on that side, but then please.
No, she's not German. Don't worry about that.
I have my own experiences.
Yeah, exactly. I know you have the own experience, but she's not German. She can't speak any German. She only speaks English. That's why we moved here to Berlin. But going and leaving, that's why we moved here to Berlin. She doesn't speak any German, and that's a personal story. That's why I am living here in Berlin, because it's international. 98% of the people speak English. She goes to the doctor, she goes to the pharmacist, she goes to the government office, she goes to the supermarket. Everybody speaks English. And she also has a job with one of the biggest companies here in Germany and in the world as well. And they all speak English because they're an international company. So, and she only needs English as a skill set. And that's what we need in the IT industry. Only English as your skill set, in order to, as a language skill set, rather, to get into that industry. And I just want to leave you with one last comment. I can see it at the back of your screen. Work hard, give it your best. Success is earned. It's always earned. And dream big. Never give up your focus. Thank you, Sumit, for being focused on us as well. And the higher education industry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining in. Sanjay, Suman, Sushant, Shubham, and Vish, and all those who I missed out. But once again, you'll have been a lovely audience. Sumit, like usual, I love having conversations with you. I love talking with you, and I love your passion for higher education in Germany.
Thank you, Laveen. Have a great day ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to get back now before my fiance kills me. You won't see me for the next chat otherwise.
Yes, we'll do that. Thank you.
Bye.
So, my dear friends who are still present, we have another small set of our presentation which is pending, and I will take your opinion. Do you want me to carry this forward, or do you want to get into Q&A session? Because this is something which I wanted to present to you. It's a light program of EUGateway, which helps you through with the nitty-gritties of getting from university shortlistings to applications to admissions to visas. But for the people who are just looking to get an advice, overall advice on some issues, they are not looking for a complete hand-holding. This program is for them who are just looking for certain advice on certain topics, to fine-tune their process, to fine-tune their approach, for German universities, they can enroll for this program. And somebody who is looking for a full-fledged handholding, for them it's a different program, and they can contact our team to get enrolled for those programs. Now, I will also take your permission. Do you want me to present this program? If you are looking forward to hear this program out, please type in the chat box yes, then I will take this ahead. If you say that you are not interested for this program to know more because this is a paid program, then you have my permission to leave this session right away, because I think what you wanted to know about the private university setup and information has been provided to you. If you think that that's what you wanted to have in total, then that has been delivered, and then you have my permission to move forward. And if you give me the permission to move ahead, then I can present the slide program. Just type it in the chat box. I think what I would do is, while you keep on thinking, I will not progress ahead with the slide program unless everybody of you are interested. But what I'll do is let you know, well, maybe just take some of your questions, which has been mentioned here. One of this is, Neeti is asking, explain the prospects of PR. Basically, you can apply for the PR if you have worked in Germany for 5 years continuously and paid taxes to the German government. That's one way of doing of approaching the PR. The other way of approaching PR is getting an unended, open-ended work contract from the company, which will allow you to get the blue card. The moment you get the blue card, and then you've been working on the blue card for 21 months, you can apply for the PR. Those are the two ways of how you can apply for the PR. Of course, adding another way of PR, which is basically finding your match, a perfect match in Germany, a German, boy or girl, settle down. And that's the easiest way to PR. So I have heard a few people say yes, they want to listen to my live program. So I will quickly take you through to this live program and announce it here, because this is just the program. This is just the program for the webinars. You don't find this program outside this webinar, and it's not accessible outside this webinar. So hear me out for the next 5 minutes while I'll take you through the nitty-gritty of this program. So basically, benefits of the course: start making career plans, filter opportunities and options for yourself. You will be able to analyze and receive a clear picture about life in Germany. You will know how to stop spending huge money on entire application, admission and visa process. And of course, you will have an overall understanding about Germany and career opportunities. This is the benefit of doing this course, doing this program. What does this program contain? What does this program contain is the following. Profile audit. We will review your profile, strengthen your resume, figure out your capabilities, and accordingly align your profile as per to your aspirations of coming to Germany. That's what this program would cover. Followed by the goal clarity. You would have a total understanding that when you are coming to Germany, or why you are coming to Germany, and what exactly you are looking to end up with. This program helps you to get this goal clarity in terms of which industry, which sector, which role you would eventually be targeting with your existing academic knowledge and with the study you are opting to come to Germany. And this has been addressed in this program. Your SOP and LOR review. So you have written it down, but you want a validation of your statement of purpose and your letter of recommendation. You bring it to us, we validate it, we check it, we make corrections for you so that it becomes ready for application. University review, you have already figured out your universities, but then you are still looking for a validation, which is the best among the one which you have selected. Are these even going to fulfill your criteria? What are the standings of these universities? Whether you would be able to get the job? What are the general scenarios and opinions of these universities in the market? All this will be reviewed by us, by our expert team, with the list which you bring to us, and we can also have some suggestions for you to alter that list. This is what it means with respect to university review. Then we have scholarship and finances, help you advising on the scholarship and the financials which you need to prepare about, and how you can secure those scholarship and finances is what also been advised within the part of this program. Document filing means the submission of your application is done with the support of our expert, that you do not do it on your own, and we are guiding you at every possible detail in the application which you are going to submit. It's either online, it's either courier, or it's uni assist, or it's various portal by which you need to do this application. Our team is sitting and doing this with you as a part of this program. And lastly, helping you through with the stay, comfort, and care. So the accommodation and everything else which you would need as a part of your settling down in Germany, the do's and don'ts, the pre-departures, you will be part of all those sessions with us when you sign up for this program. So kind of you already have an idea of 50-60% of how you want to go to Germany, but now those remaining 40-30% which you wanted a validation upon, is this what this program brings to you? And if it's the right program, is what you think, then you should look at this program holistically and subscribe to it. The actual market price of this program is what I said here is 55,000 rupees, but then in the webinar only you get it in 9999. Yes. This entire service which I have mentioned, including your profile audit, goal clarity, your documents review, your university review, your scholarship and financing, your documents filing, and your stay and comfort, comes within this price of 9999. If you book this program, if you book this package right now during this session, while we still have a couple of more minutes to go, I'm going to ask my team to put the link for this registration of this program in the chat box, so that you can go ahead, take an advantage of booking this program right away, because this program, this price is only valid in this webinar. You will not find this outside this webinar, and this program will not be offered to you, all these services at this price. And as you can see, the market price of this whole package is 55,000 rupees. So if you want to do it, this is the link which has been put by the team member here. You can go ahead and book this, take this advantage. While we wait for another couple of minutes, let's go ahead and see another thing. What else you will get? The one who book it right now and display it and let us know right away, you will get on a first onboarding call. So the first onboarding call will be done by me. For all of you who take the advantage, who are the first movers and who book it right now, they will get on a one-to-one call with me directly and get all their doubts and everything which they want to know about Germany. From my own experience of last 15 years, what you will get on the table, and that I think will make sense for you if you are thinking to make your career, make your journey in Germany smooth. So you can take the advantage right now. Okay, while you continue to think, these are some of those admits which where students are currently studying, have studied in the past, or become an alumni. These are all the places from Germany, UK, Canada, US, Netherlands, Spain, Italy, where our students are currently studying at various universities. This is just a snapshot for you to understand that we have a capacity and capability to treat your application, to treat you as a candidate in an ethical manner and get you placed in the university where you fit in. Not where we want you, but where you fit in, where you are eligible, where you think that this is where you should get into the admission. And if we are able to get you there, that's what we do. We do not compromise on our ethics, and we do not push you to the universities where you otherwise would not fit in. Okay, this has been done. As I said, if you take the advantage of this link, then that call is available. Now, question and answers. Anything and everything you would like to ask, I give you another 5 minutes. Put this in chat, and there are some questions being put in Q&A as well. So I'll just take this live. One question here is from Ankit. If he's still there, he wanted to know something in Slovenia. I think he has to connect personally to know something on Slovenia. My team will answer this on one-to-one basis to have jobs in Slovenia. Another question is something on sports technology. I don't know the name of this gentleman. Please send us your profile, send us your email with the CV, mentioning the interest in technology, sports technology programs or sports performance programs, and we'll share the list with you. We'll share across the list with you which you can then use. Vaskar want to know any commerce student in any course. A lot of opportunities for commerce graduates in German public and private universities. Vaskar, you just have to evaluate, find your right university and apply. And this last one has already been answered. So all of these been answered. I'm awaiting some more questions. In case there is some question for you, you have for me, put it in the chat box. Any questions related to the slide program, you can also put it in the chat box. If you have any questions to ask, anything to know, you can put it in the chat box. What I could also do, maybe allow some of you to speak directly. In case you don't want to write, you can do this and I can allow you to speak as well. Okay, any questions, gentlemen? You can even unmute yourself. For those people I've asked them to unmute, they can unmute and ask also in case they have any questions to ask. I guess then we have it. Thank you so much. If there are no questions, or is there anyone coming up for a question? Okay, no questions, and thank you so much. Have a great Saturday. You've been a lovely audience. Your presence was felt. Thank you so much for behaving and participating and knowing about the private university opportunities. I think we will be conducting a lot more sessions on various private universities set up in Germany so that I can bring them at par to your understanding of public universities and why at times it makes sense to evaluate them more holistically than just going point blankly about public universities since there is no tuition fees. So thank you so much and have a great Saturday, have a great weekend, and God bless you all. Thank you for now.